Hey guys, it's Mel from Mel's Kitchen Cafe, and I am so excited today to share with you this recipe for cinnamon and sugar candied pecans. It is going to change your life. A reader on my blog sent me this recipe a long time ago, and when I finally got around to making it, I could not believe how easy it was to make those famous mall-style candied nuts that also cost a fortune, and it is delicious and a lot cheaper. To get started, you're simply gonna melt 6 tablespoons of butter on a sheet pan. Now you can melt the butter in the microwave or on the stovetop and spread it on the pan, but I like to do it even easier. I just cut the butter into pieces, stick it on the sheet pan, and put that pan in the oven while the oven is preheating. By the time you have the mixture ready, that butter is gonna be melted and ready to go. So once you get your butter situation under control, either in the oven melted or in the microwave or the stovetop, you're gonna prepare the mixture for the pecans. So in a large bowl, you're gonna separate the egg whites from 2 large eggs. And this is simply because you don't want the egg yolks in that mixture. It makes it a little bit too rich and actually the pecans will burn. So don't be tempted to use that full egg. Separate the egg whites and get them whisked up until they're slightly foamy. You're not going for stiff peaks here. You're not trying to make a meringue. You really just want to get a little bit of foam action into those egg whites. And to the egg whites, you're going to add some granulated sugar. For this recipe, I use 3/4 cup granulated sugar. You're going to add it right to the egg whites, as well as 1/4 teaspoon salt and 1 1/4 teaspoons ground cinnamon. You're gonna mix that up until it's really well combined. You're gonna notice you don't want any flecks of cinnamon in there. You want it to look really cohesive. Those pecans are going to get well coated in this mixture, so you wanna make sure that it's evenly combined. So once your mixture is really well combined, you're going to dump in the pecans. You want 4 cups of whole pecans for this recipe. They don't even need to be toasted because they're going to get that really delicious golden toasty flavor in the oven while they bake. So once you add the pecans, you want to use like a wooden spoon or a rubber spatula, something that can really get underneath that mixture and get the pecans really well coated. The trick is to get every little last surface area of that pecan coated with the egg white mixture. The egg whites, sugar, cinnamon, it's all gonna caramelize into this candied pecan situation that is going to change your life, I promise. So grab that baking tray. It should have your melted butter on it already. And if you need to spread it into an even layer, that's fine. Even just tipping the tray back and forth to get it into an even layer is great. It's not rocket science. And then you're gonna dump the pecan mixture right onto the tray, and using that same rubber spatula or wooden spoon, just get those pecans into as even a layer as possible. Once those pecans are spread into an even layer onto the melted butter baking tray, you're gonna pop them into a preheated oven at 325, and you're going to bake them for 10 minutes. Once they have baked for 10 minutes, you want to get a metal spatula. I found that that works a little bit better than a plastic spatula or even a wooden spoon. You're going to get your spatula and stir everything up. Get them back into an even layer, put them back in the oven for 10 minutes, and then, you probably guessed it, you're going to repeat that process. So after another 10 minutes of baking, pull out that baking tray, and you're just gonna give those nuts another really good stir. And just make sure that if the nuts have been laying on the flat side of the baking sheet, that they get a chance to get flipped over, and equal opportunity for all sides of the pecans. That's all I'm saying here. So you're gonna put that baking sheet back into the oven for the last 10 minutes. Now on this 10-minute cycle, I want you to watch it really closely. Every oven differs a little bit in oven temperature. My oven might cook a little bit hotter than your oven, even if it's set to 325 degrees. So for this last 10-minute cycle, just watch it carefully. If you notice that the pecans are burning at all or turning a little bit darker in color than you like, just pull them out. If they only bake for 5 or 6 minutes, that's fine. So at the end of this 10-minute cycle, or before, pull that pan of pecans out of the oven again. Using that spatula, you're just gonna wanna start digging at the bottom of those nuts. Now at this point in time, it's gonna feel a little crusty between the pecans and the baking tray. That's exactly how you want it. You've done everything perfectly. You're just gonna wanna give those nuts another good toss with that spatula and get them into the last even layer. Set that pan aside for 2 hours and don't touch the pecans. After 2 hours, you're gonna be able to kind of break them apart, and you are going to have the most amazing cinnamon and sugar candied pecans of your life. Package them up in a cellophane bag, tie it with twine, give them to your neighbors, put them in a dish for a housewarming get-together or a holiday party, they make a great appetizer, but they also make a really great accompaniment to salads or any other kind of appetizer where you want a little bit of that sweet and slightly salty crunch factor. For this recipe and more delicious recipes just like this, visit melskitchencafe.com.